SpaceX, led by controversial businessman Elon Musk, who also holds leadership positions at Tesla and X, formerly Twitter, is the name that has literally shot to the top of everyone's mind when it comes to space exploration. Since the company was founded in 2002, SpaceX has launched its Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy rockets on over 370 missions. In this excerpt, science journalist Brad Bergen discusses the enormous costs associated with space travel and why, despite the potential riches at stake, it might just be better to stay grounded for a while longer. In his new book, SpaceX, Elon Musk and the Final Frontier, Motor Books, Bergen paints a fascinating picture of Musk's vision and how he came to build a business that has become vital to national agencies like NASA and other ventures that have ambitions of exploring space. Elon Musk declared, "I am definitely going to be dead before we go to Mars if we do not improve our pace of progress," during the Satellite 2020 conference in Washington, D.C., according to a Los Angeles Times story. "We need to accelerate our rate of innovation if it is taking us 18 years to prepare for the first humans to fly in orbit. If this continues at its current rate, I will undoubtedly die before I reach Mars." It was a sobering look at a grim reality that should make anyone pause. Death serves as a continual reminder that, regardless of what you do or what you build, its ultimate fate is likely to occur long after your life has ended, regardless of your feelings toward the promise of space travel, the toll that contemporary industries exact on the impoverished, or your complete lack of interest in any of these things. The majority of readers will share this trait with Musk. It is highly likely that humans will go to Mars in the next few decades. However, a Mars colony advanced enough to accommodate non-essential staff, and interplanetary tickets reasonably priced enough to provide a feasible means of escape from Earth for the American middle class at the very least, it is not something you should count on doing in your lifetime, or at a time when even the fittest among us could endure the psychological and environmental strain of the months-long trip there. Musk has stated that he is confident that the ultimate cost of relocating to Mars will be less than $500,000, and maybe even less than $100,000. These numbers were provided in 2019. Without putting too much stock in a rough estimate, that works out to be close to $600,000 and $120,000 in 2023 dollars once inflation is taken into account. Still, a sizable segment of the U.S. labor force can afford that latter figure. The average annual income, before taxes, in 2023 was $56,940. The ordinary American could spend their first 15 years saving money to flee to Mars without putting too much stock in a rough estimate. That works out to be close to $600,000 and $120,000 in 2023 dollars once inflation is taken into account. Less time if there was a means to pay for your ticket in installments, or work off your debt in Martian mines if inflation stopped or salaries were increased by federal decree to keep up with inflation. But fewer people in first-world countries would be able to afford a ticket to Mars without finding change salaries that are an order of magnitude or two greater than $60,000. This is because there would not be a significant socio-political and economic about-face in the U.S. in the form of changes to labor rights, taxes on the richest 1%, leadership, or the country's relatively service-centric economy. Furthermore, setting up a self-sufficient, operational settlement is akin to starting a huge global conflict from all fronts at once. The price per ton of stuff lifted to the red planet would determine how much it would cost to establish a settlement on Mars. Musk calculated in 2017 that the cost of transporting a ton of material to Mars would be $140,000. That would be $174,260 in 2023. Assuming that Starship can begin Mars missions by then, let us assume that the cost per ton will be $200,000 at most. In 2017, Elon Musk stated that a settlement on Mars might be completed for as little as $100 billion. Using the calculations from our napkins, that comes out to almost $200 billion. Musk has provided estimates that this may be completed as early as 2050. However, this is an extremely optimistic prediction given the numerous setbacks for SpaceX's Starship and NASA's Artemis, as well as the geopolitical dissonance between spacefaring governments regarding everything. Space contracts frequently highlight the necessity of scaling up economically viable activities, which is another often overlooked possibility. After Musk demonstrated that his Falcon 9 rockets could carry any payload into low Earth orbit, SpaceX's contracts swiftly surpassed those of NASA and all other international organizations or countries.